That is useful.
What would you call what's that one called?
It's a noun study of singular. Over here, these guys have got what? Yes, they're nouns. It's basically a noun card. There's no other concept there, is there?
Well, unless you've got the matching two examples of different vowels. No?
Okay, no, it's probably. And what's Jenny's in?
We could do story.
I've got objects.
No, just put all the hats together.
Trying to
That's
put
cool.
them into groups.
So some of them have got more than one,
You've got cards or not?
and some of them have just got one. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh, okay. I was putting like plastic and wood.
Nice, perfect, and that is a
Attaching
legitimate
things.
exercise.
So classifications?
Yes, yes, that's what I was doing.
Sorry, I feel the same way.
Could do it by colour.
Yeah. So these were paper.
That looked like soap.
Yeah, that's a candle. I put plastic things together and metal things together. So, yeah, but then
Does your not have?
see, that could
Cards
be, no, it's just things,
How are you going to play it?
objects.
We're gonna
So Stephen said just
hold each
put them
card.
into
Mm.
groups, so but then you start thinking about how you're going to group them.
Or the fast
go-
animals.
Yeah, living
Yes.
things and.
Non-living
This is
things.
living things.
But what about?
It's just
Things
the high
like
frequency words that
clasping
do not
things.
fit
Yeah, that I
musically,
did
that's all
fix
they
some
are.
things. Yeah, so that was a button.
Yeah, there's that one.
We call them
It's a lid.
It's a lid, okay.
What time made you?
So you could go by wood. These are all wooden.
Or you could go things that humans use.
Oh.
Shoes, hats.
We use pegs
Oh,
as well.
yes.
We use dogs.
Yeah.
We use pigs.
Pegs. We use pets. We end up with one very big.
We don't use mice though, do we? Unless we're doing science research.
That's cool.
So it just becomes one big group. Then.
It's
I like
Except,
the
except for the fox.
I like the materials they were made
They're
out
called
of.
that.
Can I feel?
Those look like knitted little like. How do they?
Love it, Jenny. Totally suits
So
you.
is this just supposed to be straw?
Yeah.
It feels like it is.
I like how the possibilities are
It's supposed to be like
endless.
string or something. If they like.
Yeah. What else
Freeze
can
it.
you do?
Possibilities are endless of how you can classify these.
And then you can start talking about
most.
the objects
All right,
themselves.
so yes, there are
Colours.
lots of these sorts of
Yeah.
activities.
Red and green.
The verb one is very, very exciting. I'm just noticing it's not here just at the moment. For example, it has a card that says jump on it, the child jumps. The next one is sit, and the child sits. And in the video, yeah, and walk. And it's very, very cool. Just really one-off cards. Remember, all of this is ECE. I haven't got to primary yet. And I'm feeling that I need to get you onto primary, so I'm just going to leap forward. What you need to know is oral language is massive, that most children should be able to identify all letters of the alphabet by the age of about 4.5. That by 5 they should be able to link words to get link sounds together to comfortably read words they're familiar with.
You mean phonically know the alphabet though, as opposed because what we had was A, B, C, D, E,
Yeah.
F, and that was just a nightmare.
Never
So
did.
you had it-
When I introduced J before, N incorrectly, it should have been I'm just saying the sound of it. They'll pick up this name. It's not. We don't even need to teach it. They'll pick it up. Sesame Street has done its job. All of those guys do not fit into phonetic schema. Okay, you can't work out how to say I just by looking at it. You'd say it every time you saw it. So this is why we need to introduce through oral language. And in fact, the best way to do it is just a 3-part lesson. Lots and lots and lots of 3-part lessons. This is 6. Put 6 on your head. This is I. Put I. Sit on I. Put time in your t-shirt. Whatever it is. Yeah. Cool.
I was trying to find a like.
Oh, there was a like. I got rid of it. I'm sorry.
I now like him.
Do you?
Interesting conversation. Especially with your groping and eloping.
It was getting very heated. We had fighting and
Did he say
hitting.
groping and eloping?
Yeah, we did eloping and fighting and groping.
Before you groped.
In the white bag too. All right, cool.
Too much caffeine.
Can I introduce then the primary material? When they first come in, on this gold box here is the same idea as that one over there. It's just the sight words or the golden ones. We have should be a gold pen, and then you write beautifully for them, a beautiful gold script pen. These words are exactly the same words as those words, but they just, you handwrite them out first beautifully in calligraphy, but this isn't in calligraphy, it should be, okay? And cursive script is fine. Gold, because gold is about, I haven't told you this story.
There's so many stories you need to tell us.
Should have a sleepover.
Shona's like, no.
So wrong. I mean, to very innocent.
Yeah, we had a sleepover, guys. We slept all together. For 2 nights, that was to my eye.
Not enough.
I wasn't really.
No.
Yeah, there's so many stories I need to tell you. I just have to. I don't know if you can pick up, but I'm just going ching in my head and ching, just stopping every now and then, but there is infinite story, I think. A primary student will come into your class. But let's imagine that they are comfortable understanding phonetic reading, that they are very, very comfortable. Now we're going to offer them a language experience that is based on oral language. Yes, we've decided all of that. That everything we're going to do orally first. Their handwriting is going to develop, and the more and more it develops, they're going to be able to do, yes, form all of the letters, and they're going to form them beautifully in cursive. How can we extend writing? What is the next thing that we need to do to help children to write more and more beautifully?
Start using imagination.
Oh, okay.
Creativity.
That's true. I asked the question, it's a bit ambiguous. So mechanic, what are the mechanics of writing that they could ask them to do? Calligraphy, illuminated manuscript, paintbrush work, with a black brush and doing the Chinese symbols. There's so much more we can do to pick up that attention to detail and that beauty. Can anyone draw calligraphy signs, like the Chinese signs? You can?
Well, in Germany, that's part of, you do calligraphy.
Very nice. So we need to make sure that their handwriting is taken care of. Now, I would suggest that get them off pencil as quickly as you can. The worry the parents have with pencils is that you, what if they make mistakes? Well, hello, we want them to be making mistakes. Please ramp up the number of mistakes you make. Here we've got some calligraphy books.
I love secret book boxes.
More calligraphy here, so you can practice. I'm expecting everybody, please, to take a page in this book and to write out something beautifully. You can use this pen, these pens, this ink. More pens will be coming. You need to, when you use calligraphy, I don't want you to think about writing. I want you to think about drawing the letters. So you might look at creating some letters, however you want to do it, okay?
Wow.
You'll do it any way you want to. There's books, there's chapters, there's all sorts of different fonts. So your page, you might choose to do a prayer, if that's something you're interested in, or a quote from Jenny. That might be something else. Equal status there. But you're going to, there are lines in here, but you can just ignore the lines, and you're going to spend some time working calligraphy. This pen is not good because it is an ink pen with a felt tip. Please remove all felt tips from your classrooms. Why? Sorry, I'm picking on Janet, but tell us why.
Because the kids don't, like, they don't see how much pressure they actually put on. So felt pen is basically, you put less pressure, has the same amount of color that comes out if you put a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So you all understand how a felt tip works. A felt has got, it's a felt tip on the end, and the ink will just flow out. Any pressure applied to that felt and the ink will flow out. A calligraphic pen or a quill the pressure that you place on it, actually somebody didn't clean these, they might not work, which is really sad. Anyway, you'll try. Is to do with, I don't know if you can see that little ball in between, there is a little ball in there, can you see? And that ball pushes down to allow the ink to flow. So if you push a lot of pressure, it'll push a long way down, more ink will flow. If you don't push it a lot, less ink will flow. Which is why we have ballpoint pens here, and that there is actually a little ball floating at the very tip here under ink, okay? So when you push on it, ink can flow around the ball. That's where we get a ballpoint pen from. But we need to understand, sorry, that was yours, yeah? So that we need to understand that this is not useful to help people to write this. I have a set of calligraphic pens, and I'll bring them in for tomorrow. Please, everybody make a commitment to writing into this book. Calligraphy, what do I mean by illuminated manuscript? Has anyone got an idea? Probably do know what I'm talking about. You might not have heard it use that word. Illuminated manuscript, a little bit like that. See that A is a whole different, but not really. Illuminated manuscript, these monks were bored out of their trees. They had to just copy documents. They were. Well, I didn't know them personally, but we imagine that they were. And so they decided to make some letters like super duper cool, okay? And sometimes they would make them into a little story, and they'd have a tree growing out and down the side, because all they had to do was copy the same text all the time, and they got super duper bored. So an illuminated manuscript is where you can see, this is probably a really good one, a good sort of example here. This is the text, right, the boring stuff, but really they put a lot more effort, have a pass those around, to create something beautiful. So if you're writing a poem about your tree, say your offering was a tree poem, then your tea might actually be a tree, and you grow it, and the whole thing works together. And you won't get it right the first time, or the 10th time, but this will take a lot of work, and you'll make a lot of mistakes, and you'll keep going. And it'll be hard, and you'll push through it, and there'll be high standards around you, and you'll be expected to do it. Once you start, you're expected to commit. So you get them to lay it all, plan, try a few bits and pieces, test their fonts, and really develop that understanding. You don't write calligraphy, you draw it. You take an A and you look at what an A is, and then you design all the brush strokes around that A.